So, hi everyone, my name is Ronaldine Marta Antonio, and today, or in this juncture, I will be discussing the assigned topic to me, which is the grammar and linguistic. So, most of us, or all of us, has already the background knowledge about the grammar and linguistic. So now let's delve into the outline. So the first outline for my topic is the grammar and linguistic. Second is the short overview of syntactocentric. Third is description of a traditional grammar and structural linguistic. Fourth is the conclusion. So for this introduction, for the introduction of the grammar and linguistic, the grammar and linguistic explore the structure, use, and meaning of a language. Grammar includes the rules that governs sentence formation, while linguistic is the scientific study of language as a whole. Because scientific lies the scientific studies, because it the scientific methods for studying in language. It is a process of inquiry that involves making observation, forming hypotheses, and testing hypotheses, drawing conclusion. Are used in order to study a language. Linguistic is a description approach. What does it mean by description approach? So descriptive approach it because it seeks to studies and understand how a language is actually used rather than prescribing how it should be used. Interested in studying all aspects of language, including its structure, meaning, and use in a different context. So, linguistic is a broad field. Linguistic is broader field than traditional grammar. It focuses on understanding how language works, how it is acquired and used, and how it varies across culture and time. So basically, it studies every aspect of a language because it teaches us that how a language is different from other language, and it also teaches us that how a language change over time. So grammar versus linguistic. Grammar has a rules of language, while the linguistic is the scientific study of a language. So grammar and linguistic are the fundamental aspect of a language study. Grammar refers to the set of rules governing the structure of a sentence. So linguistic has these main areas. First is the phonetics that deals in sounds of speech, morphology, the word formation, syntax, sentence structure, semantic meaning, pragmatics, language in context. So let's the syntactocentric. Has these theories focused primarily in syntax as the central component of a language. The belief that syntax is the most important aspect of a language, influencing other components such as morphology and phonology. These theories has structural aspect of language and how sentences are formed according to specific rules. And also, it is connected to language and grammar because it says that it places syntax at the heart of grammar and linguistic. Uh, Move on to the traditional grammar. So one of the oldest approaches of language study uh, bring back to ancient Greece and Rome. So it is more on prescriptive rules and focuses on correct of language rather than natural linguistic variation. So when we say traditional grammar, is so what is the prescriptive rules or prescriptive approach? When we say prescriptive, which prescribes the rules and regulation of a language that focuses on teaching people how to use language correctly. It is based on a set of rules of conventions that are considered to be standard. So the traditional grammar and grammar is the two connection or the connected. focus the rules and convention, teaches people how to use grammar correctly, even if it is not the way that most people actually use language, gives emphasis on the convention of set of rules of a language suggested by. So, so that is traditional grammar. Where the principle is of traditional slavery, that is what I've said earlier, lack of flexibility, because it focuses the should rather than the um, variation of a linguistic, limited context consideration, because it has the standard to be followed. So second is structural linguistic. Structural linguistic developed by Ferdinand de Saussure in early 20th century, a systematic way of analyzing language. It views language as a system of interrelated signs. Structural linguistic is a language as a system structured that follows pattern which can be analyzed independently of meaning. Emphasis on structure, prioritize syntax over meaning, and the real-world language use neglect pragmatics, and does not fully address how language is used in context. So the structural linguistic and the linguistic, it has this, are they are the they are the connect. So that's all for my topic. That because for this topic that assigned to me is to describe only the syntax structure in a base form of grammar and linguistic. So let's uh, read the conclusion. So the, upon discussing, I conclude that understanding syntactocentric theories is a crucial for linguistic study, as they provide different perspective on language structure and function. By the way, syntactocentric is from the word syntax, which delves in the formation or the structure of a language or a words that being described. Traditional grammar focuses on language correctness, structural linguistic on a systematic structure. That's what I've said earlier. That traditional is the um, likeness in grammar, and structural linguistic is from the word linguistic. It focuses on the systematic structure or the syntax. While each theory has its limitations, together they contribute to the broader understanding of how language operates, diba? How the beauty, or how we can, how the language in our everyday living, how we communicate to our fellow. So I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening.